for Team Secret. 3 in a row.
Yeah.
That is rough.
I mean,
tiring.
It's great. I mean, they're probably, of course, super happy about it. But that was kind of interesting. I didn't know that Sunby would stand in for them whenever he'd go back home. It kind of makes sense that they would kind of try it out because Sunby is very high, high MMR. He understands the game very well. But also, Mid1's English. Damn, he's improved. He sounds great.
A year ago, I think he didn't want to do interviews.
Yeah, he didn't want to do any interviews at all, but he's been really picking it up. That was impressive.
Yeah, looking good. And Team Secret, yeah, looking good. They have qualified for 3 LANs in a row, so they can use this one to maybe launch themselves into more. As already discussed earlier today on the panel, this first LAN and the first 3 or the first 4 are so important to secure yourself as an invite for LANs to come. And that's what these 2 teams are fighting for. Obviously, on top of the prize pool, because there's $300K to give away.
They're just playing for the points.
And TI points, sure. But the getting an invite to a LAN in the next season, the next half of the Dota year, so to speak, is going to be super important because it's going to be a very, very, very busy year.
Yeah, if they can dominate, then they can take like the EU spot.
Yeah.
And if they can over Liquid, it'll be pretty impressive.
Okay,
but that's tough.
Liquid's
That's pretty tough over
guys.
TI
Jungle
winner.
Wars, Chen Enchantress, guys.
Yep. Night Stalker
here's the
next.
draft.
The Knicks ban though. Look at that.
Oh,
Ricky ban.
Ricky
Jungle Wars.
is
Jungle.
Jungle.
They want the Chen.
Bench. They ban Chen.
Then is there going to be an
They take their spirit. This was the other heavy contested hero we were talking about.
Ench?
Responses?
Pugna, yeah. General's like, I want to play Pugna.
This has
There's
been
the Ench.
Okay.
Yep.
this has been played out in their heads time and time again. I'm gonna imagine, like,
Do they
if you're
take-
Puppy, you know this is gonna happen.
Yeah. Do they take the AA here for secret, or do they not want to reveal both supports, you think?
I don't know. They have to pick something that can deal with the creep, though.
Okay.
At some point.
Yeah, at some point, definitely. That's true. So Puck, great burst hero. Lots of team fight coming out already for
and
secret.
She can withstand the pressure that Ench will throw at her. It's pretty hard for Ench to kill the Puck.
Can you talk to me about why would you ban out Ricky if you're not picking up a jungler yourself? Because Ricky is good against junglers.
Yeah, I think
Ricky's really good versus
yeah,
Puck,
it's
too.
very good against the junglers for sure and Puck. I don't know, maybe in scrims they played each other and NaVi picked Ricky against their jungler. I don't know, I'm actually not entirely sure.
Not too sure about the Ricky. It's maybe they really wanted the Puck. Like
Yeah,
Ricky Cloud
I was
is very
kind of like
annoying,
thinking
but
they might actually pick the Ench first because of how they banned, but they didn't go for the Ench. They go for Earth Spirit. I guess they feel like it's a fair trade, but Earth Spirit is not a hero that can fight Ench early.
No.
He does well later in the team fights where Ench is weak at team fights, but early game, Ench is going to dominate the early game.
And we've seen Roger playing it very well. I think only Generals played the Pugna, right?
Yep.
He's been
So
exclusively.
far, he's the designated NaVi Pugna player, you know.
So they ban out one of the disgusting heroes, of course, being that Broodmother from Ace, and they take out Mid1's most popular Ember Spirit, which he's been playing so often. While on the other side, Secret takes up PL on the IO.
Yeah, it was a pretty fast draft up until this point.
Yeah, they know exactly what they
They had a
want.
lot of time to prepare for this game.
They did. They did for sure.
I think they had a feeling that this was what was gonna happen.
So NaVi seems like they're going to have the early game advantage right now. And Secret still... You think they might actually not pick any hero that can kill the creep and just deal with Ench? Like
I think so.
They're probably like just... Okay, we're going to lose the early game, you know? But
I think they just take the mid game, take the
we
team
just
fights.
go for we go for the team fight later and try to regain the loss that we have in the early game. Maybe that's their approach here. Oh, that's the 3v3 mid incoming, you know, the charge.
The battle's incoming.
The Ench comes in with a smoke, then there's a charge Spirit Breaker coming in.
But also, like previous game winter, you mentioned that if you have that Puck mid, Puck is one of the heroes that is so difficult to gank.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned the Southeast Asian Puck, the best Puck there is. Mid-1 Southeast Asian player. So are you confident that he can deal with that?
I think it's the Spirit Breakers more to match versus the Earth Spirit this time. It's like, sure, it can't really gank so well versus the Puck, but it's to follow that Earth Spirit's rotations and do that outnumber.
This hero is pretty good at fighting with the Ench. Very tanky and your brain sap.
Dog. Every time people are waking up the doggy. It's cute though. He has his own chair.
Puppy's really been... I thought he was playing so well on the Bane in the last games that they played.
He was the MVP.
MVP both games, right? Yeah. He was impeccable with his rotations.
It's like one of his go-to heroes now. Chen or Bane, Chen or Bane, Chen or Bane. These two
Yeah.
heroes.
Dude, this is, I mean, we're going to have so much battling in this mid lane. Look at this. Earth Spirit, Bane, Enchantress, Spirit Breaker. This is going to be 3v3 just like we said it would be.
So are they going to add a Prophet on top of that?
I think they should, right? I think
I
it's
mean,
pretty...
for Secret, but that's Spirit Breaker though. Spirit Breaker is generally
That's true.
good against Prophet.
That
Yeah.
is very true. It's
Did
still
NaVi
nice.
themselves go for...
No,
Nah, they got General probably on the Pugna, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna play
Yeah.
the Pug now, and right now they're gonna pick the carry because they're gonna leave Dandy's hero last.
Yeah, like they do.
As usual, they're gonna pick his hero last.
Yeah.
So they need a carry that's gonna be good on his own because the two supports are not gonna sit there. They're gonna like, bye bye. I'm gonna pull
Yeah.
one creep. Bye bye. I'm going mid. See you
So-
later.
Which heroes are good by themselves? You got Weaver that's good,
Mhm.
Troll, semi-good.
Troll's okay. Like not particularly a fan of leaving a Troll alone to be honest, because Troll has no escape. He's just really fast, you know.
He can run real fast. Which other heroes come to mind? Though?
But they do like CK a lot though. They've been picking
Mhm.
CK so much. Maybe they go for it again. I'm not too sure.
I would say CK maybe for Team Secret. That
It's
can
okay
blow
too.
up
I guess
Enchantress.
it's okay. But it's against a Pugna though. Pugna is really good against
Monkey
CK.
King.
Yep, this is self-sustainable carry. But certain matchups could be problematic. Is there Bat Rider in the pool? Yeah,
Yeah.
Bat Rider's still in the pool, yeah.
Bat
I
Rider's
think
in the pool.
Earth Spirit's naturally pretty good versus Monkey King too.
Yeah, Venom's in the pool. There's a lot like Jakiro off lane, Venom off lane, Bat Rider off lane. Those are the three heroes that can actually mess with the Monkey King's lane.
How do you feel about the Visage? Okay, never mind. They just go for the Mirana here.
So whose heroes?
That should be Ace Mirana, right? The Bane Mirana combo.
Yeah, could
You,
be.
you don't think they might run an off lane Mirana against
I guess
the
they
monkey?
still can.
Yeah, off lane Mirana against monkeys. Okay, like he can get away from the monkey. I guess it's okay. I don't know. I think it's possible though. Like if you're kind of expecting a 3v3 mid Mirana against Monkey King alone, he's a range hero.
Yeah, he's gonna do incredibly well versus that matchup. They have so much magical
Yep.
burst on
Navi
Secret.
is kind of expecting that. They ban out the Drow Ranger.
Alright.
But you think it's more likely that Ace is on the hero?
Just because that's what I've seen in the past, at least, of him playing it. I think it's more than likely, though, when you say it like that, for sure, they want to be able to leave him alone versus the Monkey King.
And they pick like something like a Bat Rider.
For Fata.
Yeah, for Fata.
I think that's a
against
better.
the-
I think that's a
against the
better
monkey.
one because it's better versus Monkey for Bat and better versus Pugna, right? Bat Rider is very good versus Pugna.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Then their lane should be looking good. All three lanes should be looking good for them.
And Bedwar, yeah, offers the vision. Because you mentioned Nature's Prophet early. You think that the Spirit Breaker being good against that is a good reason not to pick it? Because Spirit Breaker is good against Bat Rider too.
Yeah, it depends on the player though. I think Furen has his merits in this game. He's gonna be able to help the 3v3 mid, and he's okay against Monkey. He's like pretty good against Monkey King because you can kill the trees with the summon, and you might catch him out in the mid game. And you have the Sprout to give vision. So he definitely has tools that is good against the Monkey King as well. I think overall it depends what kind of game they want to play. Do they want to give Fata a more economy hero, or do they want to give Fata like a tempo hero, like a Bat Rider?
So what are we thinking? Like Nature's Prophet, Doom,
Bat.
or Bat?
Something
Yeah,
like that.
I like this three. I'm not sure if there's any other hero that Fata is gonna play here. He had one game Underlord, but I don't really like Underlord here that much. I mean, it can work, but I don't really like it more than the Bat Rider or the Prophet. I think those two are better.
Yeah, I think those two are definitely what I'm
And
looking at as
for
well.
Dandy, is it just going to be Alina, as simple as that? I mean,
Very likely though. I think.
Yeah,
It's
right?
I
very
do think so. They do have heroes that can get
Okay.
on, and
Oh,
they've
and
got
Alina
the
ban.
ban too. Yeah.
It took them a while to think of that ban though, but probably they were already thinking about their pick as well. What does
So-
Dandy play if he's not
I
playing
mean,
Dina?
the other option would be the one that we mentioned earlier, where he plays the Mirana, then they pick another carry. So this
they
is
go for the
this is
Venom.
one of the,
They
like
get
I
the
said,
Venom.
this is the few heroes that I mentioned earlier. Venom,
Yeah.
Jakiro, Bat Rider, all these three heroes are very good against Monkey in the lane.
Yeah.
As a position 3, so I think that's what they're gonna do.
Do you feel like they've got a good lineup like that?
Yeah.
Secret's lineup is really
Very
scary.
solid.
Yeah,
Team
You
fight,
got
very
catch, you
straightforward.
got team
Team
fight.
fight, catch, wave, clear, lane.
They're a
every-
little bit low on the push, but Venom can make up for that.
Yeah, Venom can definitely.
Yeah,
make
Venom's
up.
Venom just.
And Mirana with
eventually.
items can definitely also
Yeah.
help with that. So I think Team Secret's draft is very solid. A lot of areas covered.
They've got so much magic
Navi
damage
has
early game.
Navi's just gonna play their aggressive game. They're just gonna pick like a.
They're just gonna run at Secret.
What else is available for Dandy here?
Queen of Pain, but
Yeah, I guess. But Queen is not that great
Not
against their
great.
heroes.
no, not great versus Earth Spirit Puck.
Yeah, Bane even is annoying for Queen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What
he-
does
I don't think
what
he
is
has-
okay against a puck?
TA, but there's a Veno.
It's a Veno, yeah.
OD a little bit of a...
Don't like it,
I don't
no.
like
No?
OD. I
Okay,
really
okay,
don't like
okay.
OD. Yeah, I don't think he
Too
has.
much silence on the enemy side.
Yeah.
I mean, pick a
Okay.
Viper, I guess. I don't know.
Winnipeg
is the
against-
queen.
Yeah, it's the Queen though, but it's his hero, but it's not a good pick here. Like
I'm not too crazy about it.
yeah,
I think it was like
but
the
at
last
least
one.
they had the character to stick to their guns. You
Yeah,
know?
they want that aggressive.
They just want to play like this regardless. It's a good thing to see. They don't care about what the enemy is doing. They are really focused on doing what they can do and what they want to do.
Ooh.
But I think I just have to go with Secret. Their draft is
It's so disgusting.
yeah, it's easier to
It's
play their
very-
draft.
yeah.
It's easier
It
to play
definitely is.
their draft. Not to say Navi can't win with their heroes, but it's more like they have to put in more effort to win. Like they have to play much better than.
So you're saying you're going up against the crowd?
I think I think the nice thing is too that they've got this Mirana versus the Enchantress. We were talking about they need something else to kind of deal with it, so they have that arrow to insta-kill the creep, and they've got this mid-game team fight that's really substantial if they
I
come out
think
of laning phase.
they pretty much have everything covered though. It's very hard to find a flaw in their overall lineup against what Navi has.
Okay.
Agreed.
Well, let's find out what's going to happen in the first game. NaVi versus Secret, the rematch. Over to Capitalist and Blitz.
That's right, the rematch indeed. What will be the title of this series afterwards? Will it be Secret's Revenge, or will it be Navi's Perseverance after losing to Complexity and still making it to that final day? We'll have to find out together, but I know one thing for sure. This first game is going to feature a whole lot of action.
Yes, they are going to run at each other nonstop. There is some
Just
good
to put
amount
it
of skill
mildly,
push, though.
because we already know Navi's playstyle, right?
Yeah.
And this lineup from Secret, no holds barred, that is a lot of early magic damage, a lot of run at you.
Yeah, I think most of this game is going to be determined by the support duos. It's going to be Yapsor and Puppy going up against Suneko and Roger, whoever can have more impact in the early game. Like, this is probably the best patch in a while for support duos.
Yes.
You can get so much done on the map and really set the tempo for your team.
I think one of the big things I really liked about Secret earlier is that I felt like their duo was oftentimes a trio where they kind of invited Fada along to be the aggressor with them, and the three of them were just causing so much chaos around the map. Now, part of that was the fact that he was playing a Furion, but he is playing a pretty aggressive offlaner here as well. I would initially say support duo, oh, that must be Yapsor and Puppy, like those two are superior. You know, we have a long history with Yapsor being the star player over the last year. Puppy, obviously a longer history in Dota, has always been strong. But boy, this Navi support duo has actually been doing so much this tournament. Roger has been a fantastic pickup for them. And Suneko, I mean, he's shined before, but he's definitely shining big time, especially with that Earth Spirit he had in the previous series.
Yeah, and it takes some guts to be able to say, okay, I'll be the 5 player, you be the 4 player, because Suneko for the long time was that very high mechanically skilled player, very high MMR, and for him to be able to switch roles, it's really shown that his sacrifice has paid off.
He had a really strong understanding of like rotations. Remember all the times that he would play these heroes that would rotate into mid, he would find career kills like non-stop.
Yes.
That was Suneko all the way, and he had to give that up for the 5 position, which is usually a little bit more sedentary, though we're not really seeing this too much.
He's going to go for the rune. He's
That
actually
is-
slowed up, and the Monkey
That is
King...
not a rune he wanted. All right, he's going to have to juke this for 4 seconds. He looks like he might have just made his way out.
No, he's
Crystallize
gonna get the
going to
range
cut through
hit.
the trees. Here comes the orb, jump away, but it's not far enough. Monkey King, that is not a traditional melee hero right there. He's got that little bit of extra range to him.
Just a little bit. I mean, he's pretty much ranged.
He really is. He almost beats out Luna.
Yeah, that's pretty absurd, but in mid lane, mid 1, getting harassed up a little bit, but a very good start for Navi, and this is exactly what they needed.
Missed roll in from Yapsor.
And just a weird kill overall, just because they don't really have any sort of disable. They just sort of right-clicked him to death.
Yeah.
But Fada already getting zoned out by Crystallize, who's got boots. Large advantage for him in that lane, and meanwhile up at top, Ace. We've seen this matchup before, Pugna versus Veno. Pugna, probably one of the heroes that doesn't care too much about really anything.
Yeah.
Like, you die on Pugna, you come back. You die, you just run back to your lane again. You'll outregen one day.
So you're saying Venomancer does have the clear advantage here, but it's not going to matter too much because Pugna, he doesn't care about dying.
Mainly because the Bane is around this area.
Yeah.
But the weird part about Navi, and we saw this yesterday in a few games, is that they've sort of picked 2 4 positions. They have a Spirit Breaker and an Enchantress that don't really hardcore lane support. But if you're going to do this, you need very independent cores.
I mean, isn't that NaVi's flavor? It feels like neither one of them takes like a true hard 5 position, right? Which would normally be Seneko in this situation, Roger's more of the 4, but it seems like they both take like, 4.5.
Yeah, and I think NaVi, the main reason they can get away with that is because they do pick these very, very independent cores. They have heroes like this Monkey King who naturally just lane dominates. Same with this Queen of Pain and a Pugna. Like, none of these heroes really need help to succeed in their lanes.
Right.
At bottom, Fada. Oh.
Yeah, he's dead.
Slap down.
Crystallize and Seneko. As you said, with that early set of boots, it seems like a near impossible lane for a Puck. A boots advantage on a Monkey King, that's a death to any offlaner. Whether it just means you get zoned out of lane entirely, even if you don't die, or maybe you just die 5 or 6 times in exchange for getting something out of the lane.
It looks like they do want to go for a lane swap as up at top General. Now he's going to get gone on, throwing out the blast, but unless he can get himself denied, and he does!
Oh! Too many heroes around the Hellbear Smasher. He gets a little spooked. Lays down a clap, mid one, in mid, almost. Yeah, they're going to go for the dive here, a little bit more tick, but he's got the Fairy Fire and a healing self, so he'll be okay here. Draws a lot of damage on Snako. He's actually dead from that one. The double damage is enough for mid one to get the turnaround kill, and he's going to survive off of 12 HP and keep that self intact.
Very good job by mid one to be able to bait that with just 24 HP. Like you said, not having to use the salve, but this lane swap, and they moved a lot of heroes up here for this purpose, and now Crystallize just immediately going to go top again, trying to dodge this Venom at all costs. Correct thing to do in this situation.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Blitz, but this is kind of favorable for NaVi, right? Just because it's okay if they make the rotation and kill the Pugna.
Yeah, of course.
Because Pugna doesn't really care too much, and
especially with
Crystallize can just keep following him around.
If it wasn't for the deny, I could say it was all right, but because of the deny, it sets them a little bit further back. But it's this mid matchup.
Oh, the arrow at an angle slides through those 2 range creeps and is going to be able to get a lot of damage onto Dendi. Dendi actually not fearful at all. He does have Roger coming in as well as a charge from Seneko. They're going for mid one to back line, completing this charge, but the neutrals just aren't able to follow up as fast.
Yeah.
So not able to get the follow up to Sables on mid one.
And that charge, or the change to Mirana's Leap, really hurts this matchup in general. Just because you can't dodge Shadow Strike anymore.
Dendi is abusing that to its fullest. Look at him getting serious damage in on mid one every single time, but Puppy's been hanging around mid a lot lately. Probably got the call from mid one that, hey, he needs that extra help in this matchup.
Yeah, and this kind of new meta of not going bottle, pretty interesting. Instead, just statting up like crazy.
Is that because the prevalence of the shrines?
Yes, and
Shared
meanwhile, Fada.
Yeah, that's not going to be trade. They're going to be able to kill both the offlaners this here. Crystallize. Oh, it's not enough. Ace is unable to finish off the Pugna, so it's just Crystallize who managed to pick up the kill on the Fada.
Did have to pop his salve, but doesn't seem to care too much as Dendi, just blinking around, brings himself another salve. And the main reason for it is that you want to go for the stat items so that you can keep up in CS and harass. And more than anything, you can't really afford to go 600 gold into nothing. As Fada getting dived once again.
Crystallize faking out the nuke. Phase shift is necessary here, but Crystallize now going to be surrounded. Ace is just going to be able to kite him around. A big hit from Crystallize. Actually gets it on the Absorb, but they're going to pop the Shrine. He'll be okay. A 4-man Shrine, and Crystallize is going to have to face his final fate. So 2-3, 5 minutes in. NaVi a slight advantage, though that kill streak going to Fada is surely going to help out his off lane, which has been a struggle for him so far. Mid lane, mid one, in some big trouble, going to be charged up, unable to get the leap out.
Able to dodge that.
Centaur stun, kills the other Centaur. That's not a bad play, but mid one is still going to have too much damage heading his way. He ends up going down. Yapster trying to get the roll in onto Roger, actually misses entirely.
He's going to get charged again.
He's going to get charged up, but oh, what a kick just in time. Stopping Seneko's charge. Puppy comes in, is unable to go for any of the low HP heroes like the Spirit Breaker, and not able to get a sleep out on anybody that the Mirana could possibly take advantage of. Does manage to get the arrow point blank, though. He'll finish off Seneko, get a little vengeance himself, pop the Shrine as well, and be on his way back to the mid lane.
Yeah, Fada's life up at top, a little bit easier with that kill on the Monkey King. Crystallize had such a sick start, but he's been slowed down a bit. Still topping the net worth chart at 2,800 gold, quite a bit, and meanwhile at bottom General, using all of this space to just pick up some farm. And it feels like both teams are just willing to rotate out of lanes and not really have somebody here.
The charge on Fada. is coming through. Now, Fada's got 2 supports coming in, so maybe he's
angle.
thinking he's
Does he have
okay with this, but dodge the phase shift, does manage to get out. Oh, just barely at the end of that boundless strike. Gets Fada, and it's a really so much damage. Completely overwhelms Fada.
Yeah, and I don't think he's anticipating that it's going to be that much, or he's relying too hard on his instincts to be able to dodge that Monkey King staff, but the amount of downtime that it has, not that
it's
high.
actually Ace who made the rotation. I didn't realize that one with the core. This crystallized kill would have been pretty easy, but they didn't have a stun left to be able to stop that TP out.
Yeah, and Crystallize has just been a beast all throughout this tournament. Meanwhile, General, again, nobody bought him for quite some time, and you notice the play that he's making. He's trying to save the catapult so that Roger can come in, and it's successful, and meanwhile in mid, charge.
Now, Seneco's a little bit far forward, though, and they've got some good distance on this arrow, so it's going to last a while. With Fada here as well, they're going to be able to get the nukes to be able to finish off Seneco. Dendi watches, unable to do much about it.
Yeah, but meanwhile at bottom, the double catapult. I don't know if the Observer got it, but General decrept the catapult before it died, so that Roger can run it.
The next creep wave came in?
Yes.
Nice.
Just very smart play overall.
Really taking advantage of Secret abandoning that lane.
Yeah, this is the timing that you really want as an early game Enchantress. He wasn't able to get it in the previous game he played it, but in this one, when you grab the double catapult and you can just shove this lane in, very strong. Is Earthspirit going to TP in? Yap, looking for something?
He's already in position to scout all this out now. It's still a puck, but he is going to be able to get stun after the phase shift. So, jumps forward, is going to be able to get a slow on top and easily taking that kill. Yapzor gets the roll away, though. So it's not going to be two for NaVi, but still a kill and a tower. And again, I was going to talk about how Soul Ring off-lane puck, you can get back into the game really easily, but he just keeps on getting shut down over and over again. And I'm being a little fearful that he might not be able to make that comeback. It's
largely due to the fact that Crystallize is just following him wherever he goes. Whenever he sees the puck rotates, he matches that rotation. And NaVi, they proved in the previous series against Complexity that they're willing to do that. They're always willing to follow you around the map. This is what they care about. They care heavily about the laning phase and picking these independent cores so that they can just rotate around, make plays as they see fit.
Continuing that push into the tier 2 tower, but there are some secret heroes standing by. NaVi not going to pressure it too much more. Maybe they're just going to lay a trap.
They can be patient because nobody's at this top lane, and Seneco's getting XP during this time, finally going to pick up his boots. Sorely needed those, but they're getting a lot more utility out of this area because they were able to take that bottom tier 1 so early on. They're able to go into the jungle. Mid going to be their next objective. He saved the catapult. Roger, as he enchants it again.
It's the same game plan. Save the catapult.
Oh, it's going to get
pick one up with the Enchantress, and Crystallize will sit behind that. Oh, what a play from Yapzor. He just knocked down the trees. Now Crystallize is food for 4 members of Secret.
Sick game sense.
Woo! I mean, they finally caught on, right? It was the same game plan they did bottom.
He scanned for that, right?
Not that time.
He scanned for that?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Secret scan is on cooldown, so.
As mid, Fada does get hit by the dagger, but Dendi, he really wants to come in for this mid tower. As Dire side, when you're able to take out this mid tower and the bottom tier 1, it means that you just get access to this entire area, and you force Radiant to play in your own jungle.
Yeah, they have to play like their off-lane jungle and Dire jungle a lot, right?
Yeah, it makes it really difficult for them.
Yeah, it's just really easy to read their movements, and then you can kind of plan some strategies according to that, right?
Yeah, just to further elaborate on that, it's that you can always shove in those 2 lanes, and if NaVi never responds to that, then Secret can just play this process of elimination game and vice versa. So when you shove in lanes like that and you take out these tier 1s, NaVi can say, okay guys, none of them have come into their jungle. That means they can only be in one place on the map. Let's get really deep wards, and then we can just smoke into our own jungle, clear that out, and remove all the space in the game.
And the only way that Secret could ever possibly respond, right, be able to get into their own jungle is usually through smokes.
Yes.
Those aggressive wards, and you've only got a limited number of those.
Yeah, and that's why this mid tier 1 tower is so important for Secret to fight over, and that's why you see them not just giving up on it.
And they're going to rotate mid 1 in here again. He's going to kill one of the catapults with an arrow. And NaVi do have to be a little bit scared being initiated on by that Dream Coil.
Yeah, and that's why we've seen Enchantress come back in such a big way, is that she can, around those timings, the 5 and 11, just pick up one of those catapults, push it down, and it's really difficult to stop that.
It's the same reason for the uprising of Jakiro in NA, right?
Yes, his ability to just shove down the tower for low cost is invaluable, as NaVi is going to make An early smoke attempt. Not really sure what the plan is here, because I think that top tower is a little bit hard to take, but they're going to go for it anyways, go around that shrine area. Maybe if they had ward vision as well, they're going to put down a ward, but they are fighting around the shrine.
And they're going to be spotted by the ward already in place by Secret.
Oh, they're going to ping for that one too, so this is most likely going to get dewarded, and they know they're there, but I don't think Secret is really in fighting shape quite yet. They don't know who else is there. They haven't gotten eyes on Crystallize yet.
So the smoke will be used mid. Fada does manage to dodge some of that, gets the silence out on Dendi, but is not going to be able to jump to his orb. Crystallize gets the boundless strike, stopping him from jumping away. What a play from Crystallize. 5-7 now. NaVi continue to pick off Secret heroes here and there.
And they really needed him alive because they're using the Veno to defend that top tower from Pugna. He's going to make the rotation in, but this is going to be way too late.
Yeah.
Free tower here as Fada must absolutely hate Crystallize.
Maybe they can actually get a team fight out of it, though. Crystallize is going to start popping his ultimate, though. As the TP completes from the Bane, he is just going to get gobbled up almost immediately. What a 3-man stun, though, from YapzOr. That kind of buys some time for the rest of Secret to be able to get out of there, because that was a terrible fight.
He lays down the ward, so he gets vision of the charge. Might be able to catch YapzOr, and he
does.
does.
Seneko, but the charge is already hit onto YapzOr, so he turns, gets another 2-man kick. But here comes
but here's the coil!
Coil with the silence on top. Oh no, everything has gone disastrously now for NaVi. They lose 3 all of a sudden, and their 2 cores, and Dendi and Crystallize, are both able to get out. But it seems that pursuing that team fight, which was already a win for them, ends up as total just ash in their hands now.
Still, they didn't lose either of their 1 or 2 positions, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but Fada's game was pretty ruined up until that point. But getting that 4-man coil, I mean, you saw the crowd react. They smelled blood. NaVi did as well. But Secret responded so quickly. That could have been a disastrous fight for them, losing that mid tower and 4 heroes potentially. But instead, they turn it around, hold the line.
And he's so close. Well, not so close. 1,200 gold to that Blink Dagger. Significantly better than he was doing just a minute ago. And that initiation is pretty critical for them, right?
Yes. He really needed that to get back into this game.
Looking forward, how does the Blink Dagger change the nature of the team fights for Secret?
I think it just makes it easier because right now they're relying almost entirely on just walking in or using YapzOr. And mid one, he doesn't really have a lot of space between him. That's why he has to commit the early leaps. And as a Mirana, your offensive potential is based around, do I have a leap charge? If I do, then I can play very aggressively. If I don't, then I've got to run early. And so it's a little bit difficult for them in that regard.
You can see NaVi doing exactly what Will was talking about. Took over that mid tower, now
get control of this
all
jungle
over
area.
that Radiant jungle.
Yes, you get deep wards down. They have that one placed.
Oh, look at that, another successful scan. But YapzOr, do they have the firepower to actually catch Crystallize? He tries for it, Crystallize is already gone.
Yeah, that only works once.
It seems like it works both ways, right?
At the same time,
Charge
NaVi,
at top.
They've got their own ward, and
they going on to the Venomancer right now, and it looks like the AoE damage. Oh, Ace has to pop it. He had to pop the wand, which kills his invis. He takes 1 shot, and that'll be enough for Dendi to pursue.
yeah, he was hoping that Dendi would blink a little bit forward
and
maybe overshoot things, but they're not going to get punished for that as Ace worth a pretty solid amount, and Dendi really the rock for NaVi so far this weekend.
He certainly has been. Once again, he's top of the net worth chart.
Seneko, this is definitely just a vision charge. There's absolutely no way that he commits it. But they're going to ping for the ward. They're going to see him coming as well. Not sure if they heard it, but they do know where they're located. And I think Secret have to mirror. Either you mirror Dire's movements or you immediately try to take a fight. But Fada doesn't quite have his blink yet. They're still going to make the aggressive jump into the jungle. YapzOr rolling forward, catches 2.
2-man stun, 2-man silence, now the follow-up ultimate. Daring NaVi to turn against him. And that would be enough time for the rest of Secret to be able to catch up. Unfortunately, the Blink Dagger just wasn't up yet for Fada, but he'll get it off of this next creep wave. That's assuming if he actually gets another creep wave, though, because NaVi are sticking around in this bottom lane as a trio.
It's because they're creating space for Dendi up at top.
Yeah.
They understand that even if they're making this move, it doesn't really matter because Dendi, who's kind of the true carry in a game like this, is going to be pressuring in that top lane.
Roger. Doing a good job, kind of went into that shrine area with his neutrals and such. Got the vision of the rotation, so Dendi was able to back out safely before being caught.
Yeah.
Dendi is going to be pretty indestructible, even against the Blink Dagger of the Puck, because now he has the Yule Scepter.
Something I did want to point out, by the way, is that NaVi is willing to commit 2 cores to 1 lane as
Jump forward.
Puppy.
They do have the Boundless Strike. Attempts for defensive sleep, but Crystallize still able to land the Boundless Strike afterwards.
And they're going to shove out bottom lane. But as I was saying, the interesting part is that they almost always bring 2 of their cores to 1 lane, which is pretty unheard of. Most of the time, one's jungling, one's doing something else. But NaVi is willing to play this like weird self-sacrifice game where both their cores are willing to show so that they create space, and it's a real threat. So then Secret has to respond. Then Dendi kind of gets the free game as a result. It's almost just moving pieces around, and they're willing to sacrifice a little bit more farm just to get more superior fights as Crystallize.
Close.
He doesn't want to jump. He's not going to risk it.
Nope. Orb goes
Although
out.
General.
Fada was thinking about it, but doesn't throw down that coil.
Yeah, and they're placing sentries everywhere, but haven't found Navi's wards quite yet.
And here comes the full 5-man from Navi. They're going to run at this one. They're going to go for the Earth Spirit first. Should be a pretty easy kill, though. They're trying to run to Crep.
I don't think it
be able
is.
to help them out a little bit. He gets a roll deeper away, and the Nuke's coming in for the Queen of Pain. So they managed to get that one. But a trade-off potentially. Monkey King dropping so low. He needs a little bit more damage. They managed to catch General in the back line, but Puppy can't get away from this one as he's dusted up. Moonlight Shadow not going to be able to save him. Fada still trying to get those extra kills. He actually does manage to get the Pugna there.
Suneko's got the charge, though. Fada, he's going to have to outplay them here a little bit, going into the trees, but he's caught.
He's charged. All right, so he's going to have to blink deeper into the trees, go to his orb, and looks like the TP away will be good.
Still an all right fight.
It could have been so much better for Secret. The Monkey King dropping so low there.
Yeah. The gold change actually favored Secret there, even though they only got 1 hero for 2. But killing General, fairly significant as mid one just continues to farm. He really wants that Yasha defusal.
Midwan, how is he caught up to Dendi? I felt like Dendi's always been able to free farm, kind of solo off in lanes and stuff.
Because mid one's been doing the same thing. Whenever Dendi shows up to a lane and pushes it in, I think he learned from the games yesterday that you can't just allow Dendi to snowball while his team is 4-manning around the map. It's they're just waving the sign like it's a distraction, you know? Sleight of hand. They're just like, hey, look at me. And Dendi's like, all right, well, I've shoved in like 8 lanes in a row while you guys are trying to 5-man my team. Because look, they're willing to do it again. You notice that Crystallize is playing the same side of the map at all times as this Pugna.
And if you ask the meta to support it, Mirana always has the slight edge on the Queen of Pain, right? They both have a nuke, an AoE clearing nuke, to be able to burst down laning creeps, but you've also got this arrow.
I'm not sure about that, because you have blink.
Neutrals? Ah, that's true.
The ability to blink around the map is so... you almost always win the farming war as a result of that. But you are correct in that mid one is just carrying around clarities. He still has that infused raindrop, which is a lot of value as both teams smoked up. They're going to run into each other here, though. Suneko on the low ground. Puppy not willing to commit without seeing anybody else, though.
3 mana.
Here is the downside, though, of playing this double core showing at the same time kind of style is that they do get underleveled as Pugna and Monkey King. Their farm's all right, but Monkey King, for the most part, looking for an engagement.
Pretty easily. Moonlight Shadow setup. That's one of the things I love. If they actually get the extra kill, though, I can't believe Fada is even attempting anything at bottom lane. There's no way he could kill Dendi, but they did manage to get the sleep onto Suneko. That leads to an extra kill for them in that top lane. Well played there.
And Dendi does have that Orchid completed. That's going to be the counter to the Mirana.
What do you build as a Mirana?
You just get a Manta, and you're fine. Once you see the tech switch, then you just switch back.
Yeah.
And it's not that big of a commitment. It's Fada that is really going to struggle. As at bottom,
Boundless Strike this time around does not last long enough.
Yeah, he needs his Yule Scepter, but he must hate Crystallize so much. Like, Crystallize has just been following him around the map pretty much the entirety of the game, making his life a living hell.
It does seem like Monkey King fits Navi's playstyle in the regard that you were talking about, right? They're willing to bring 2 cores to a lane to present a real threat because of the fact that he's able to play off of trees and Monkey King farms so well in those kind of instances.
The issue with that, though, is that they are getting behind in levels as Puppy. Oh, the charge through as well.
Charge knocking back the Bane and trying to go for those extra kills, but mid one is far enough away. His team won't be able to pursue.
If this does happen, Navi actually does want to commit to the fight while Dendi's making those kinds of plays because they think that they can win the 4v5 with a Pugna. As that bottom Fada going to get gone on again. Crystallize, once again, the bane of his existence.
It looks like he tried to lock him down with the ultimate there.
Oh, he gets the
nice
force
force staff usage there. Ace managed to stop the TP by breaking the coil. And that means Fada's sacrifice. In his dying breath, he throws out that coil and says, "Team, avenge me." Ace does just that.
Ooh, that was quick thinking. Very neat little play there.
3-man coming in from Secret. NaVi already put in place. They've got a regen on Dendi. So you look at that half HP, it may not mean much.
Oh, Seneko gonna charge in, but that's
Goes
not the
for
real
Dendi,
target.
but
Dendi
Pick managed to get the silence on him too. He's gonna be caught by so much damage here, but can they get him after the Yule Scepter? Easily. Right clicks in just before the blink can go out.
Yeah, and notice it's actually Secret that have flipped the script. Look at what Mid-One's doing this entire time. While his team creates space for him, he's playing Dendi's role that Dendi has played previously in his games as Lina and as Queen of Pain. He's just farming across from his team. Whenever there's action up here, his team smokes to him. Then they just disengage, leave him alone. He continues to farm out the jungle. He forces Dendi to the southern side of the map where Dendi just doesn't have a lot of space to work with. He's not pressuring towers by being bottom because that tier 2, if you're actually going to commit to that as Queen of Pain, then the Murano will come. But for the most part, it's going to be the tier 1s that kind of add a little bit of extra pressure, force people around.
Okay, but theoretically, right? If we are actually seeing NaVi trying to utilize Dendi now, right? And he's being in some of these fights. Like, shouldn't they be winning the fights then? If Mid-One's going to play the AFK farmer, but Dendi's actually getting his hands dirty, and he's been able to free farm this whole entire time. What's going wrong for them?
I think the problem is that their team fight right now is very fractured, and they're not respecting the fact that Secret can just run at them. Right now, NaVi, if their early 5-man doesn't work, it seems like they just split up into these groups, like this 4-1 pairing, but they never look for the full 5-on-5 very often. It's actually Secret that does.
So we need to see them maybe do some sort of punish, actually group up.
Maybe at this point in the game, but the downside of doing that as well is you're going to get behind in farm by just grouping up. And so it's kind of a delicate balance in a game like this. There's a lot of pressure, though, on NaVi, just because Mid-One has been farming quite a bit. You know that losing your Monkey King in repeated attempts at ganks, he's not going to have a lot of farm either. The solo kills are helping him, though, a lot.
You never want to see that. When you get your Orchid at the same time as the enemy team gets their Manta, just means you don't even get that one free kill. Looks like they managed to catch out. Do they have a ward in place? They did. So they spotted General this whole entire time, able to get the roll in. Secret. They get back to a little bit of a corner earlier by NaVi's aggression, losing towers, but once their back was against those tier 2 walls, they started to really snap back at NaVi.
NaVi supports are going to have to do some real suicidal stuff soon. I think Roger, because he went Midas, he kind of decided for himself the focus of this game has shifted. We cannot fight them anymore. They've got too many mobile heroes. It's too hard to lock them down.
Orchid being used on the bait, but here goes the kick! The kick silence onto 3. Mid-One's going to stand and fight here. He's trying to right-click down Seneko. He's the first one down. Here comes Vana, looking for an extra silence onto the Queen of Pain, but Roger's fighting Mid-One pretty well. Mid-One has to actually leap himself away from the Enchantress to be able to get away from this one. Underneath the tier 1 tower, Ace is going to try and finish him off. Looks like Dendi was able to make the blink away, though. Very key hero to be able to escape from that fight.
And as soon as I say that, they immediately take a fight, but that was a pretty scary proposition, especially under the Shrine area. You have to anticipate that they're going to be ready to take that one. And they do. Secret getting away with a lot there. 618 gold change in their favor, a lot of XP. You've got to be more careful than that if you're NaVi. If Dendi doesn't have that Arcane Rune, that blink isn't up and YapzOr catches him.
Why did they go to top for a team fight? In that off-lane Shrine area, there's 2 TP points right on top of each other.
I'm not sure.
Why
I think
there and not like mid or bottom?
Well, the main reason is because they have this ward up here. And I think at the same time, they figured that there was a chance that Secret was in their own jungle. But they do have a ward pretty deeply placed.
So you think they were just trying to catch like the
Yeah, they were just trying to get like a 1.
Okay. That 1-4 split that we've been seeing, they tried to go for the 1 and found the 4 instead.
Yeah, but NaVi's game plan should change a little bit. Everybody needs to get a little bit more farm to do anything. Like before you take a fight, Roger needs his Crystallize needs his BKB. Roger needs to transition this Midas into something else. Like Midas is a transitional item. It doesn't really add a whole lot to your team fight. So you're using it to get an item that'll eventually help you. And Dendi, arrow is dodged.
4-man smoke up with Dendi showing in the mid lane.
They have a
but
BKB on their Monkey King. They want to reveal this, get a really good fight going.
it's a big power spike for them, right?
Yes. If you're not willing to fight around that, then you pretty much can't fight.
Puppy first. Tries to sleep himself, does dodge a decent amount of damage. Now, they actually get the charge in from Seneko trying to finish off the Bane, but he's not getting a charge, and now he's going to be Fiend's Gripped up, loses his life. Now, they're going to be able to get Puppy. 1 for 2 exchange so far, but a lot has already been blown by NaVi, which is why Crystallize has to zone Secret from pursuing them.
They got to get out.
He stays in his ultimate as long as he can, but they're going to jump to the other side with Vada, get some more damage on a Crystallize. This is the hero that they want to be able to clean up at the end of all this because they know the rest of NaVi is not in a situation to be able to fight. So Crystallize, caught by the Ult Scepter, delayed up once again. See if they can get the extra nuke damage. Midwan goes for it, but now in a bit of a trap. Pops the man to get out to Crepify, and NaVi do successfully keep Crystallize alive. That was a little bit impressive to me. I thought for sure he was a goner as soon as Vada caught him in that coil.
Yeah, it looked like a really good fight, but for the most part, all their disables fall pretty early, the 2 supports, and Fada can really pop his coil there. There was a BKB on that Monkey King, so they just kind of had to be a little bit patient and wait, but the re-engage attempt just isn't there. Pretty decent fight overall for NaVi. They get a little bit more real estate on the map. They can shove out this top lane general. Gonna do exactly that. Curious enough, going for the BKB right after the hood. No Aghanim Scepter on him.
Here comes the smoke. Up the top lane, where Midwan's kind of been chilling out. He's going to show himself on the creep wave. Look at me, I'm a farming hero. Pushing in your wave.
They shouldn't fall for this, though.
This tier 2.
Every single time that Secret is smoking, they're smoking to Midwan. It's not the other way around, and so...
So eventually, they're going to hang on to that pattern, but NaVi don't quite catch it. Well, Seneko almost catches an arrow, though. General is definitely dead. They're going to be able to stop the drain with sleep, and he'll tick out the damage over time. NaVi are going to be able to push in mid and bottom in exchange, but looks like a tower for mid-1.
Yeah, they need to split the map as fast as possible.
A jump onto mid lane. Crystallize is going to be coiled up. Tries to go for the TP out, and will be successful just before the kick can be there.
That was pretty gutsy to go for that.
Yeah.
Anybody else is there, he dies. If they have a 4-staff, he dies. Or at least he's forced to use his BKB. But I do think he has to be a little bit greedy like that. You can't waste your 9-second BKB charge just getting out in a game like this.
So you said something pretty curious to me. You said NaVi's supports have to start being a little bit more suicidal.
Oh, so I meant every single time the Pugna showed himself on the map, now Secret is strong enough to just straight up kill him. They just run at him now. And it's a worthwhile trade for them because the rest of NaVi heroes don't feel very comfortable staying on the map. They only feel comfortable when somebody's being gone on. And so you kind of have to play this highlight die style. I'm going to shove out the lanes as a support, and we'll see what happens.
And that way, you know, you're creating space, and even if you do get ganked, at the end of the day, you're a support instead of that core.
Your 2 cores are willing to show on the map after that.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Seneko just goes top, pushes that lane out himself, and look, that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
And if somebody comes to gank him, then great. And if nobody does, then NaVi gets a little bit more information on the map. That's why Dendi isn't quite showing at bottom yet, even with the creeps at the tower. Now he's going to blow the Scream of Pain. But he's waiting for Seneko to kind of give him information.
Yeah.
He's saying, okay, has anybody showed at top yet? No. Let's wait a second. The charge is going to come on a Puppy. That should get canceled, though.
Yeah.
And now Secret, they're pinging up at top. They're saying, there's somebody up here, guys.
Failing that, they're at least going to push out that top wave.
Yeah.
See a Murata, feeling a little bit better.
But you notice that Dendi, now he's willing to farm a little bit further out from his tower because Seneko made that play. It's a little bit dangerous on both ends, and it requires a lot of finesse. And for Secret to counter that, they have to anticipate that move coming and already be in place. Because if you're running after that hero, he's already probably gone.
Yeah.
Because he's waiting for the next sign and the next movement. That's why Dendi just goes into the jungle. Somebody else on NaVi now has to go push out top. I'd like it to be Seneko.
Yeah, definitely not Roger, right? Because it looks like he's kind of turning into a core in himself with that Hand of Midas pickup.
Yeah, that's why Navi's avoiding fights, though, and I think they should have in the first place. They have a Hand of Midas on their Enchantress, their 4 position. Just let that do work.
So Dendi, he's definitely going to be a bit skittish, showing that deep at the bottom lane.
Yeah.
Clears the creep wave, backs off to the neutrals again. And now, with the puck throwing down the orb and Venomancer showing himself. They know they've drawn heroes to bottom lane. Time to back out.
Yeah, and now your core should be willing to show up at top because their core showed at bottom. But for Secret, they've pushed out bottom at a decent pace. They can go for a smoke if they want, get a little bit deeper. As Pugna, he should just keep going. He's probably the most expendable out of all the cores.
BKB for Queen of Pain. Another big spike for NaVi. Does this change things enough for them? A BKB on both the Monkey and the Queen of Pain. Can they finally take a 5-man into Secret?
Yeah, definitely. Because even if you have a Yule Scepter and you don't die, it's really hard to fight into that Veno ulti. Because it does tick you down and it makes you a little bit more scared. But Puck, he's going to push out top. And now Secret, they're kind of being lulled into this like, okay guys, we're just pushing out waves, they're pushing out waves, nothing's really happening. And it's usually the team that reacts to this the fastest that wins the next engagement.
So the subtle but deadly dance of mat movement around may come to an end now as a bit more crude but definitely more powerful 5-man smoke up from NaVi could clash into Secret.
Yeah, their lanes are shoved in. This is one of the better opportunities.
Here comes the charge onto Fada, but he has Phase Shift. So this initiation is already a little bit off kilter. They're going to turn, get the Yule Scepter onto him, throw out the arrow, and Seneko completely controlled up. The rest of NaVi aren't going to be able to protect him a little bit. Oh no, the drain's just not enough to protect against that damage. Now they've actually caught him. Oh no, what happened? Roger gets a little bit too close to Puppy, and the Fiend's Grip snatches him up. NaVi, that was not the type of initiation we wanted from them.
Yeah, they felt like because their lanes were in a good order, they could just go for a play like that. But going for the Puck, unless Fada just isn't watching that area for like 20 seconds, he's always going to get the phase shift off against the Spirit Breaker.
And it also did kind of seem that Secret knew what NaVi was up to. They were loosely 5-manning around that middle area. What do you think kind of tipped them off there?
I just think that as the game goes a little bit later on, you're going to make that move a little bit more naturally, that you're going to want to play around each other as cores.
Yeah. They want to play around Roshan, especially.
Yeah, exactly. And this wasn't an easy Rosh for them, but they are going to take it anyways. And that's huge, because neither lineup really does Roshan too quickly. But Secret, they've got a lot of damage for the first one at least.
Yeah. 20-17. Over a 5,000 gold lead for Team Secret here in this game 1. Seneko finds Puppy. They manage to throw out the Orchid, but here comes the rest of Team Secret to get a 4-staff defensive one to be able to save him, and they're on top of a Shrine as well. Dendy just needs to give up on this engagement because Seneko's already caught, but Fada does manage to get crystallized. BKB TP out is good. He now has a Desolator. Big increase in damage for the Monkey.
It's all good though for Ace. He just continues to farm. He's got his level 22, the 75 damage talent, one of the best in the game.
Equivalent to a Desolator right there.
Are you? I was laughing at the fact that the other one is the 15 magic resistance.
Oh yeah, nobody likes that.
In terms of pure gold, it's like a cloak versus a Sacred Relic Plus.
Yeah.
It's just, it's the most obvious one to take.
Some talents in Dota are just a little off kilter, just a bit.
But the cool thing about their lineup too is that they have really natural power spikes in their talent tree. If you just look at mid one's damage, the plus 50 damage talent, Venos, it's just a bunch of artificial DPS increase.
Yeah. You already have so much attack speed that I would argue that that 50 damage is even more value than the Venomancer's talent.
It's just amazing because for the most part, both these heroes are magic-based heroes, and then it transitions them into something different. So magic-based heroes are almost always better early game, physical kind of pays off later, but it allows them to scale in a different way. It gives them a different look as the game goes on. So it's not like one type of itemization is going to break a hero like Veno or Mirana. You get these hoods while Ace is still doing 250 a hit.
Yeah. Minwan's going to make everyone's attack damage even better as if he gets that level 25 attack speed increase, which I think has been kind of the norm.
Nah, dude, multi-shot.
No, you like that multi-shot more?
Seneko, he's going in for this.
Yapsor
actually gets caught by this.
They're going to be able to go for the Air Spirit first, but already
NaVi
stopping up that
this
Fiend's
fight.
Grip. Puppy's going to be able to control the Monkey King in the back line. That's going to be really helpful, slowing down the damage of NaVi. As you can see, Midwan is still in full form. He's going to be able to bring down Roger here in a little bit, but actually has to give up on that kill. The heal, Fada will actually clean it up. Crystallize throws out his ultimate, but he was delayed in his team fight for so long by the sleep that his impact is pretty much null now. He's stuck inside his own ultimate, trying to zone out the rest of the Secret, giving himself some opportunity to crepify from General. Will buy him a little bit of time to start backing himself up, but the rest of the team turns and gets Dendy instead. Now the pursuit is Ace continuing to slow down. Crystallize is not letting him be able to leap away. General's up next. May have popped his BKB, dodging the slow, but it seems like both Ace and Fodder are going to be able to keep up with him. A kick forward by YapzOr. It's just a little bit of extra helping hand that allow them to get the full 5-man wipe on NaVi.
Yeah, at this point, they just have too many items. All of these damage talents. I forgot that Fodder has one as well. All 3 of their cores, they all just get free damage.
Yep. They hit this huge power spike in 35 minutes. Take a 5-man fight. Look to be able to take out the tier 3-2. Buyback's coming in, but Seneko way ahead of the rest of his team. Does get the Decrepify and the heal, but again, it's just not enough to be able to get the save.
And
they
Mid-1
still have the
has
Aegis as well.
They can go high ground with this. Their Venomancers, level 24, but they're so strong. They hit so hard. The BKBs aren't helping NaVi anymore. They can't stand up against the physical damage. Dendy needs something like a Shiva's just to live. And they've actually caught the Enchantress in the backline too.
Where the hell did he come from?
That was wild.
He's not even a stunning hero, so I'm
They
not
saw
sure.
the ward. They just keep placing these Tinker wards.
Yeah.
For Crystallize, and it ends up just catching everyone. I think they watched the previous NaVi games where Pugna and Queen of Pain, the way that Dendy in general always play this is they just hide in the trees.
Yeah. They don't push and TP back, right? That loses too much time. BKB TP out from General. Look at that damage, though. Jesus.
Yeah,
They thought the BKBs was going to be enough.
No, you get hit really hard. really, really hard.
A Manta. Now for the Venomancer, even more damage coming out from him. Mid-1 picks up a BKB. So there is no stopping those right clicks. It's going to be real hard for Roger's Enchantress to play that core role now that the Untouchable isn't much of a factor against the Mirana.
It doesn't feel like it's doing anything anymore.
Yeah.
They blow him up so quickly. He decided to go for the pipe, but even then, again, it's no longer about the magic damage. It's that you just get right-clicked by all 3 cores and they kill you really quickly.
Would you say that these heroes, Puck, I mean all 3 of them, right? All 3 of these cores have the magic damage early, go into transition into physical damage.
Yeah.
How significantly will they drop off late game?
Late game, I think that Venomancer's late game is excellent. The 3x Plague Ward, they're just mini towers, for being 100% honest with ourselves.
So even if NaVi was able to stretch this game out, play the high ground defense, it's still going to be a gamble at winning late game for them.
Yeah, this Queen of Pain has to be able to 1v5, but she doesn't quite have the gold. Her game is slowed down significantly.
I mean, what's his level? Is he even close to 25?
He's 21 right now.
Yeah, and that's a pretty key level for carry Queen of Pain as well, right?
Yeah, and she's not anywhere close to any armor items. Like, if you check her out, she's only got 7 armor. They cut through that pretty quickly.
Jesus. So close to level 25 on Venomancer. He's now trying to build into a Scotty.
NaVi needs more initiators.
Yeah.
Because right now, it's pretty much just Seneko charges into Fodder, because Fodder's the only one willing to show half the time. Then it gets stopped and they all get blown up. I don't know what the answer is, though. Maybe get some Centaurs and smoke them?
I mean, I kind of feel like they have to lead with a Boundless Strike somehow.
Yeah,
like
they do.
a hard stun, and to follow that up with a Spirit Breaker ultimate. Because Spirit Breaker, every single one of these heroes has some sort of escape mechanism. Force Staff,
they have Yules,
Phase Shift, yeah, etc. So they can always, charging straight at him is not going to force that fight in that area. It's going to force it maybe 500 units or whatever deeper into Secret side, if anything.
Yeah. They just lack the ability to start the fights. So most of the time they're scrambling and they have to pop their BKBs defensively. And Secret.
Moonlight Shadow, the poor man's smoke for Secret almost catches Dendy.
Oh, it's going to catch Roger
It
instead.
looks like it is going to catch the Enchantress, maybe even more with Coil going out. Seneko tries to buy Roger time, unable to do so though. Coil still holding General in place. Crystallize thinking about throwing out that ultimate, try and protect. Seneko. Seneko suicides into the Bane, trying to get whatever stuns he can before he dies.
Oh, they're just
but
force staffing
now,
around this fight.
Secret are just playing around this ultimate entirely. Puppey is going to commit for it, gets the Fiend's Grip. He's giving up his life to make sure that they get this kill, but the Shrine, somebody Shrine for him. They're trying to heal him up with General, but they don't quite get the Shrine. Dendi was stunned up for too long. Crystallized dies as well, and this is going to be Secret now forcing that buyback of Eul Scepter. He's got a buyback now because he's needed to be able to protect Dendi, already stunned and silenced up. Fada blows him up.
Look at that damage.
The Dagon comes in. Again, the Shrine. Too little, too late. Crystallized turns, managed to get the two-man stun, but 4 heroes. Mid-one barely gets himself away. Actually, their turn. Crystallized is getting some free hits off of this when he now has the lifesteal. He can actually stand against this, but they already calling it. These heroes, the other heroes, they're down for too long. Crystallized can't possibly 1 versus 3.
Wow.
And a NaVi chat.
Yeah, they want him to know. They've still got their backs, but that game was very thorough.
NaVi come into the stadium, get a chant, and they'll leave after loss in game number 1 to a chant as well. The crowd fully behind them. They're going to need a lot more than just crowd energy to beat Secret, it seems, after this game 1. They seemed fully out. I don't know if it was out draft, but strategy-wise, it seemed like Secret was certainly 1 step ahead.
Yeah, none of their cores could really start fights was the main issue. And if none of your cores can start fights, then you need these heroes like Earthshaker to be able to start them for you. The Spirit Breaker is cute in the early game because he makes up for a lack of initiation because he charges around the map so quickly. But at some point later in the game when everyone starts picking up Euls, they can dodge pretty much every single hero on Secret could get out of it. It makes it so difficult to start the fight on your terms. And so it was always NaVi just scrambling to make the fight somewhat even, and they just kept getting 5-0 wiped.
I feel like we've had this conversation a couple times, though. X team needs to be able to have more hard initiation.
But the trade-off, though, in a game like this, and what NaVi tries to do is they try to pump more into their laning phase as a result. They try to get these independent cores that don't necessarily have stuns, but they can win their lanes.
All right, and hopefully that discussion can be continued on the panel as they're going to break down game number 1.
Only I could.
Game 1 goes to Team Secret as they take down NaVi here in the last match of Group B. Here with Winter and Fogged, and during that game, especially during the start of the game, well, there were some displeasures with this laning stage that Team Secret brought out. Even though they won, but we're starting at the laning stage, Fogged, it wasn't great.
Yeah, we all were kind of looking. We were upstairs sitting down with me, Winter, and Sunby, which is Team Secret's coach, and we were like, man, it looks like Secret actually got the worst lane setups they could have possibly had. You know, the Monkey King versus the Puck. We saw Fada struggle. Struggle a bit in the laning phase. Yeah, he did struggle for sure, but the sheer amount of magic damage in team fight really came to fruition. That's what we were talking about during the draft as well and everything, just how they could really take the fights.
I mean, even with the bad early game, I still felt like, oh, they're still going to win eventually.
Yeah.
It's just going to take longer because their lineup is just better at fighting later on. And I think you mentioned it's a very difficult Monkey King game. A lot of good heroes against him.
So much magic damage. Like, the hero thrives when you're playing versus these physical cores because you pop your Wukong's command, you get that +8, 14, 20 armor. But you look at Secret's lineup, that is, it's just so much magic damage to pierce through that, and versus the Enchantress Pugna.
Yep. This game is very similar to the game where they forcefully pick the Huskar into the CK.
Yeah.
They just want to pick their heroes and they don't really care about the enemy's heroes. I mean, at some point, you're going to have to find a balance, you know, how much are we going to stand our ground and how much are we going to think that we need to adjust it. After this game, I think next game they have to adjust. They can't just do this again.
I think when you see Pugna only having like 750 building damage, that's really terrifying. They couldn't really take advantage of being able to pressure towers. Crystallize, overall though, he played really well in the laning phase, but yeah, that sheer amount of magic damage Mid 1 and Ace doing the exact same amount of damage, 25.4k. But the standout one too for me is YapzOr's Earth Spirit, 16,000 damage.
So these lanes, not great for Secret. Was that
Yeah.
because Secret chose it wrong, or was that a credit to Navi for
think
playing it
Navi
this
Swap,
way?
yeah,
Navi
Navi
swapped
swapped the
it.
lanes.
Yeah.
And they didn't really get into the situation where the Monkey King is up against the Venom. That is like the worst possible situation, and the situation Secret wanted the most as well. And apart from that, we were expecting a mid puck,
Yes, we were.
like a side lane Mirana.
This play was so good here. That
Oh,
force step by
yeah.
Ace. Beautiful to break the coil.
Everyone was yelling in the lounge.
Yeah, we were like,
It was an almost.
And this one as well, a 3-man stun.
yeah,
Yeah,
3-man
the
stun
kick.
stops the
Look
Spirit
at that
Breaker
kick, it's
charge.
just so pretty.
And this is where the magic damage is just showing how much power they really have. Their team fight with that puck, with that Earth Spirit, and Venomancer on top.
Well, this is the thing with like Ench, you know, you pick a Ench lineup, Ench secures the early game, and
Yeah.
you can't push with the partner. Eventually, you are not going to be able to win the team fights because Ench doesn't do much.
Yep.
We talked a lot before the game started about Navi fighting mid all the time. Enchantress and Spirit Breaker are obviously two very aggressive supports.
It did happen, right? There was
It
like
did
what,
happen, but it
7, 8
wasn't-
kills early.
But it wasn't aggressive enough. They didn't shut down Secret as much as I felt like they should be able to.
Secret had I think a very strong lane of Bane Mirana mid.
Yep.
Both of the heroes are very difficult to kill.
YapzOr just lines 3-man stuns all over the place.
Yeah.
Every fight I think I saw, the last 3 fights were 3-man stun silences. Really beautiful plays coming out.
Oh, and soon the arrow on Dendi in this fight.
Yeah, this one was, I mean, mid one played it so well too. Like everybody on Secret really stepped it up this game. Puppy as the Bane was kind of the sacrificial lamb, but that's, you know, your Bane. That's what just happens. And look at this, crystallized. Pops his ulti, but he is very sad. This is what we were talking about. It's a very hard Monkey King game. Forced to go the second item BKB, right? He went Echo right into BKB. He just needed to
Right.
this game, and he
He
just gets
see-
kited so hard, and there's the arrow.
And mid one
Jackie
sees
Mao,
the use.
Jackie Mao would have
Nice.
gotten a hood
Nice.
this game maybe.
I don't think it would have been that bad, to be honest. Yeah, I think, yeah, it was just really tough. You can see Secret just super confident once
Yeah, I
they
mean,
had
they
that
chased Air
advantage.
Force. That's kind of confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just really well played by them. Just that heavy magic damage lineup. Just so much team fight. And
I think the adjustment probably they might want to make that's still good for their team is probably prioritize Earth Spirit. I think
I agree.
giving that hero priority would mean that they have some sort of like a team fight hero, and that hero is going to be contested by Secret as well, so you take it away from them.
I think that hero actually is definitely going to become the most important after the Chen and Enchantress.
I definitely think they can still pick the Ench, but Ench with like Soneko and Earth Spirit, I think they ran it like one time, right? Yesterday, I think there was one game. I think that worked out well for them. Like Spirit Breaker and Ench is like both of them are trying to play, like they're trying to gang mid, pressure the lanes a lot. But after the laning phase, where's the team fight?
Yeah.
Eventually you're gonna need team fight, you know.
And YapzOr's Earth Spirit, the MVP of this game. It was a tough choice.
Yeah, we still gave it to him. He had 85% kill participation. His hero damage was ridiculously high as well. But mid one played incredibly well on the Mirana. Only dying once, 9-1 I believe it was at the end of the game, or even higher than that.
Yeah,
was very so hard.
credit to his team though. They were helping,
Yeah.
like especially
Yeah.
the Bane. He was
Exactly.
helping him a lot at the start. That's why he kind of like took some ganks for him and he died for him. But you know that's what supports do.
So
Yeah.
I wanna just remind you about yesterday quickly, because yesterday Secret took the first game of the series very convincingly, and then 2 games in a row they dropped to Navi.
I
It
think
can still happen.
It can still happen. I think Secret looks a lot crisper today, and I think they learned a lot playing versus Navi yesterday, understanding the way their playstyle is. And I think Navi's getting a little stuck with like the Pugna, right? They first phased it 3-4 times now in a row.
I think it's time to, like I said, adjust and maybe
Make it more
prioritize the Earth
adaptation.
Spirit more. Have maybe an Earth Spirit and Ench. I think Earth Spirit Ench will be a pretty
That's how they
solid,
won
pretty
yesterday.
solid opening.
But
to
it was
keep-
first pick Earth Spirit by Secret, so
Yeah, I think so. Maybe if they are first pick this time, they could first pick the Earth Spirit. But then they're gonna run the risk that Puppy might want to play Ench, but maybe not, because this game he actually had the chance to pick it,
Yes.
but he chose not to pick it. So maybe they don't really want to play Ench. They only want to play Chen. So that there might be a possibility that Navi they first pick Earth Spirit, and Secret picks up something else, and they still get the Ench after that.
There's a chance. We're gonna find out if they can get that. We're gonna take a short break though before the second game, so we will be right back with more Navi and Secret.